Everybody, welcome back. Episode 3. Fun, yeah, cool. I want to thank everyone for their patience and loyalty, sticking true to it. You guys are the reason why I'm doing this. I've had some really cool conversations lately about bands that you guys were recommending, and some I didn't know about, some I did. I was able to dig up old files and share it, so my hope and dreams of this organically growing is taking off, full effect. This one band that I came across, I think I'm more or less attracted to these really weird and unique names, and that's what draws my attention. And so far, 3 out of 3, even with the old Instagram, when I first started trying this on the stories of Instagram, it was really taking off. But yeah, these bands are just I'm really glad I'm doing this, because I am finding out some really amazing information and some really cool like hidden gems that more or less would be left out. Prime example, this last band on YouTube, in 10 years their entire discography was played about 700 times. Their LP was put on YouTube like 6 years ago, and it only has like 2,000 views. And before I go, because there's not a lot to show on this band, so it's going to be just a lot of samples and little snippets that I do. But one thing I'm going to focus on about this is the butterfly effect. For those who aren't familiar with, I think more or less it goes like a butterfly flaps its wings, and then there's a tidal wave in Tokyo, like across the globe. You know, that Ashton Kutcher movie, where just one thing, just domino effects. I'm going to share this little thing of notes. It started with our band, Constantine Sankathi, and it went off to like 2 other bands that they had. Some Girls, which need a whole episode on their own, and another one called Anger Battery. Anger Battery went along to have influence in the band with members to make Champion. Cool. But I'm going to focus real quick on Constantine Sankathi, whose members later became Some Girls. And I'm just going to go off on a big ramble right now. The rant, right? Some Girls, who later became Give Up the Ghost, who then became part of Head Automatica. Some Girls, who became Give Up the Ghost, later had members become in the Locusts, the plot to blow up the Eiffel Tower. Some Girls who had members that became in a band called Over My Dead Body, who later became Angels and Airwaves. Some Girls had members that came into the Vow, that later became members of Himza. Members of the Locusts who went and had influences in Cattle Decapitation and Le Shock. Some Girls all went on to make another band called Swing Kids, who later had members in Yaphet Kotto, and I did a review on them before. Really cool. And here's 2 last ones. Some Girls, who then had members in a band called Head Wound City, later who had members also in the Blood Brothers and the Yeah Yeah Yeahs. Some Girls who Ground Unicorn, who then Ground Unicorn Horn, who had members become in the Moving Units. And that's just 2 degrees that all came from Constantine Sankathi. Now, maybe not directly that same member, but that line of thinking and that influence. If you followed on Instagram, I put Be Ready for a Horn section, and the main thing I'm gonna focus on, I'm a huge fan of the plot to blow up the Eiffel Tower. Huge fan. If you guys haven't checked them out, I'm gonna do one on them simply because I fucking love them. But that offbeat, early off-key jazz influence that they brought forward with their trombone. This band, Constantine, you could see where it came from and where that came from. But did you hear all those bands that I said? Yeah, Blood Brothers, Moving Units, Locust, Head Automatica, Angels and Airwaves. They were all direct, like I said, 2 degrees from Constantine Sankathi. Like, wow. And keep in mind, this band was only around for 2 years, from 94 to 96. Like, wow, what a heavy, like a little pebble in the pond that just rippled out. I mean, who of us, all 4 of you who watched this, I mean, come on, we know we heard of the Yaz and Blood Brothers, but to think that they are influenced from just 2 bands prior to, fucking amazing, right? Like, how fucking cool is that shit? So I'm gonna put some songs on. This first one I'll give you the name afterwards, but I just want you to really take in the trumpet, and then that true, like I said, like what I'm really into right now, that post-hardcore, and like 94 to 96, prime for the alternative run. So yeah, enjoy. Again, Constantine Sankathi is up their first 7-inch LP, and it's entitled, sorry, I'm a little late tonight, Who Killed the Killed Kid. It's their first 7-inch. So hope you guys enjoy. I get a little too overly excited on things, but like, wow, how innovative was that? A brass section into like this post-hardcore sound. And now again, many of you might not be familiar with the plot to both the Eiffel Tower, but them having a saxophone into the alternative indie scene. I went to go see them like 07 a few times, and I thought they were just so mind-blowing, hearing their bass lines and the saxophone on stage with that screaming. Unbeknownst to me, Constantine Sankathi was doing this with a trombone. That's pretty groundbreaking, if you ask me. It's actually in 94, 96. Like, there were other punk bands who did that prior to, who was it? The Shocks? I forgot who it was, but needless to say, this kind of sound, I was reading on their page what I found on Wikipedia, that they even admitted they didn't fit in. Like, when they would do a lineup, they were just the oddball out, but they had such a devoted fan base. And just, I'm kind of beating the dead horse to just how unique it is, because unfortunately, these bands, like I said, there's not a lot on them. The 7-inch that I'm reviewing from Who Killed the Kid, Who Killed the Killed Kid, only has 6,000 views, and it's been on for 9-10 years. Like, we really got to appreciate these bands who are out there. So that was a sample from I Am an Android. It's a 3-song 7-inch. The next one that I want to play for you, part of it, hussinia, the second one, and I just really want you guys to sit back and enjoy. These are only little bits and pieces as I've been doing, sticking to the same format, but it's enough just to kind of tickle the ear a little bit and get you to look it up. I will be working on putting the links to YouTube on here. Again, I'm learning to edit as it is. As you guys can see, the camera's a little more stable. 9-inch sensor, a really cool phone stand, so I'm able to record a little better. But yeah, so next is Hussinia, again, by Constantine Sankathi. For this song in particular, song number 2 off the 7-inch, Hussinia, I'm gonna break it up into 2 parts. You heard that intro, that slow melodic hook, and then it built up really quick. But it's a good example of just the easy to call run of the mill, nothing too special, of that 90s sound. But as I mentioned, I'm gonna break it up into 2 because look at the change up in this little breakdown that they do. You could again see where they were really changing up, like they fit in, and you could see where they would play a venue and they would sound like the other bands, but they had this really unique style. So again, this is about 3 minutes in to the second song, but check out on this. I mean, what a cool way to end a song. Really offbeat, like I said, really like jazz influence. Like, so off and on, it was smooth. Kind of like, everyone's gonna hate me for this, but everyone's a critic, but kind of like Bad Brains. The way they're just so mechanically just on point, just in all the change ups. And then next thing you know, they bring it right back to that opening intro, that melodic intro, and they just finish out the song with it and just coast right through. Genius, so simple. Like I said at the beginning of that song, you're probably just like, what's so special about this? And I was like, every run-of-the-mill post-hardcore 90s band. But, you know, a little spice, and they did it. So lastly, I'm going to do a little bit of the third song, Thanks for the Candy, and just some more really interesting little bits, like a quick little 30 seconds, like I was showing you, because there's not a lot of these guys. God, it sucks. There's not a lot. 2 years this band had a run. Their entire discography is like an hour long. Really recommend you check that one out. See, I'm only going to sample and tease you with the 7-inch with these 3 songs, so that way you're like, ooh, I gotta listen to that whole hour and just bless my traffic on the 5 freeway, right? All right, so enjoy this taste. Thanks for the candy. some more of that amazing brass. Couldn't you picture yourself like in like 94, 96, being like that nerdy band kid and hearing them and like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be one of the cool guys now. I'm gonna hang out with like the punks and those other guys, and I got a brass. I'm not part of the ska scene though. Not that anything wrong with that, but come on, these guys open up the door. Yeah. So with that said, I hope you guys enjoy this. Constantine Sankathi. Please, as I always want to finish, type it in on YouTube, look at the side column of recommended likes, and just pick a band. Check it out. Worst case, 10, 20 seconds in, you change it and you're just not into it. Best case scenario, you're like me and everything you come across is just sheer gold to you. Thanks again for tuning in. Please like and subscribe. And as always, I do want to thank our sponsor, my good homeboy who's making this possible with me, Point of View Graffiti. Add him on Instagram. And you guys have a great evening, all right? Great day, great evening, good morning, all that shit. Have a good everything.